And in a diffuse color slot, I'm going to click the none box, add a bitmap. And the bitmap will obviously be the side photo. The side is just the plain left color. Okay, so apparently I'm going to have to check my dimensions again. It was 1,184. I believe that was width was 1184 and 655 and 655. 655. Okay, so now I'm going to assign material to selection. Show standard map in the viewport. Okay. Well, one main thing I need to do here is take it out of realistic mode and go to standard shaded mode. And so now I'm going to do the same thing for the top view. So I'm going to select that, select the next material over, change over the architectural design material for standard material. In diffused bitmap slot, none here. I'm going to press on the little box, hit bitmap, open bitmap, and open the top. It's just plain old top. There are two in here. One's black and white version or desaturated version. So I opened the top view, and the dimensions again were 1,184 to 551. 1,184 551. And I'm going to assign material to selection. Show standard material in viewport. Okay, there's something wrong with those dimensions. So I believe it's that I have to rotate this 90 degrees. 90. And that appears to be correct. So now I'm going to change this, or push this down in the Z till it's a sort of a floor, and I'm going to take the left plane and pull it back in the X so that they're no longer on the grid. Okay. Another thing I'm going to do is take any blur that I have on these off here. Blur, it's one, all you do is right click on the lower spinner and it'll zero it out to the least amount of blur that you can have. And I'm going to do the same thing for the side material. Also the least amount of blur. And I believe that's all for the materials for now. Okay. I believe it's Shift J. No, Shift. I don't remember. Is it the G? Is the, let me see, the grid is G and J for the selection brackets, which I'm just getting rid of all of them. Okay, I'm going to spin this with the, as you see there are two arrows pointing in a direction that you can turn. So I'm going to turn that top view so that it matches the left view, or it's at least in the same direction as the left view. Minimize my keyboard and orthographic left, the view to orthographic front view. I'm not even using that. So I guess one thing I could do is change that over to a second perspective. I mean, it's either that or I bring in the right side of the bike, which I'll just do that later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is maximize my first perspective view and put these on a layer and change some of their attributes. So first I'm going to change their attributes by clicking on the selection tool, select object tool. There we go with the brackets again. I don't know what that is with the brackets. More brackets? No. Okay, so now I'm going to object properties and I'm going to hit the by layer button here, I mean by object button, and click off show frozen in gray. And also while I'm here, I'm going to make them unrenderable. Okay, so same thing with the top view plane, object properties by layer, show frozen in gray by layer, make them not renderable. Okay, so now I'm going to select both of those and open my layers. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer from selected objects. The two planes here are objects. Once I press on this button, it'll make a new layer containing those two objects. So now they're on that layer. So if I want to hide them, I can hide them, and also I can freeze them so that obviously no matter what I do, I can't select them anymore like I did. Like when I moved them in the first place, I can no longer grab them in order to move them. No matter what I do, I can't touch them because I don't want to be modeling or building a part and I accidentally move the planes, because I'm going to use those as guides. So I don't want to be able to touch them. So now they're frozen. So I'm going to set my layers back to where my default layer here is the layer that I'm working on, and I'm going to rename this layer that I just created with the planes, and I'm going to call it Blueprints. Okay, so I had this problem with Max earlier, and apparently I have to close the layers dialog box and reopen it in order to be able to name it. I don't know why that is, but Blueprints. Okay, so now they're called Blueprints, and I'm working on the default layer is the layer that I've chosen with the check mark, because that's the operational layer. Like if I chose this and I went to make a part, then I wouldn't be able to manipulate it, because I'm on the layer with the Blueprints, and I'm going to be making layers. I'm going to be making parts on the default layer. So I'm going to switch it back over to the default layer, then close it. So that's all for basic blueprint setup, and I'll see you guys in the next video.